Alright everyone, welcome back to Cinderella Phenomenon. We're almost done with this, and like I said, because I want to be a completionist, I'm going to choose a wrong answer for one of these to get the bad ending, and then I'm gonna go back and choose the right ending, just so I can get both endings, because I want both endings for all of them, so... Let's get into this. So last we left off, we had just finished going through the chapter called The Ball, which was like a little party for Emmeline, trying to find a suitor. I swear I still think Varg is like Fritz but turned into a mage or something. I don't know. I swear it is though. If I'm wrong, I will be very surprised, but I'm almost positive. So let's get into this. The throne room is empty when I arrive. I can only hope this isn't some sort of trap. Soon after I enter, the door squeaks open and a familiar face enters the room. Sir Mithros? Sir Mithros walks toward me. When he's close enough, he drops to one knee and bows. I frown as I take a step back from him. My princess, do not be alarmed. I know of your true identity. Sir Mithros flushes me a wide smile that causes a shudder to run down my spine. You know who I am, so that means you're... I take another step back as the blood drains from my face. Sir Mithros' smile only widens at my reaction. I'll say it for you. Yes, I am a witch. If you're a witch, then Sir Alcaster is... a mere human, a fool one. And Varg? Nothing but my personal errand boy. A thought suddenly occurs to me. If Sir Alcaster is plotting against the kingdom, then did Sir Mithros also punish Fritz somehow? See? What about Fritz? Was he part of Sir Alcaster's plans? Ah, the knight. To avoid confusing you, let's just say that the situation surrounding him is too complicated to adequately explain. I command you answer my question, Sir Mithros. Was Fritz a part of this? If it makes you feel any better, he refused to be part of this. He refused? Does that mean he wasn't part of the plans, or that he was just unwillingly forced to participate in them? I'm certain Sir Alcaster would not be happy that his own son was disobeying him. He either forced him to help or assigned him outside of the palace. But if Fritz knew of Sir Alcaster's plans, why didn't he warn anyone about them? He probably tried, but they probably wouldn't listen to him. Was he working with Sir Mithros as well? More questions swirl in my head, but none of them have answers. When this is over, I will personally ask Fritz about this. Once I locate him. I shake the thoughts away and bring my attention back to Sir Mithros. Why bother with this reveal? What do you hope to gain from it? Before we start our conversation... Sir Mithros waves his hand, conjuring a faint green glow that envelops the whole room. Just in case someone decides to eavesdrop, I wouldn't want any of your witch friends listening in on us. Yes, I'm aware that one of them has been snooping around the palace these past few months. Their snooping has made it more difficult to move around without exposing myself. Sir Mithros clicks his tongue in annoyance. Such a nuisance. He's referring to Delora. She and Parfait warned me before that there's a witch in the palace. Is Sir Mithros truly that witch? Well, is there any other fucking witch? I never really trusted him, not even when I was a princess. Now that he's revealed himself as a witch, I need to know what he plans on doing. So, you knew that I was the princess this entire time, yet you never offered me any assistance. If I had, Alcaster would have targeted you as well. What? Alcaster wanted to dispose of the royal family. If he had known you were the princess, he would have been after you too. It would have been easier with no one remembering you as the princess. But unfortunately, Fritz told his father about you, thinking Alcaster might be able to help and protect you, and it didn't help that Varg confirmed it. Your mother wouldn't have been happy with me if I put you in harm's way. That's why I had to pretend to not know who you were in order to protect you. Sir Mithras is silent for a few moments before he speaks again. Revealing myself to be a witch was necessary. I had to make myself appear useful to Allcaster somehow, after all. Then, of course, I learned of his foolish plans to steal the crown and decided to thwart them, though not before I stole something from Allcaster first. I played him like the fool that he was. I told him I'd aid him with my magic as long as he gave me knight's protection. Using magic is almost impossible in this place, so having the knights to back me up was crucial. The knights? What does he need the knights' protection for? What are his plans? Sir Mithras starts pacing the room, his expression still calm. I found out that he planned to dispose of me after he obtained what he needed, so I disposed of him first. Allcaster might have been able to convince most of the knights to aid him by promising them promotions, but... well, my magic is far more convincing. Sir Mithras stops in front of me, his deadpan expression transforming into a smile. For now, let's desist of speaking of my plans. The minute Allcaster's plans were thwarted, I knew I had to contact you directly. I'm happy to see you in the palace, Your Highness. Although, we really need to get you out of those clothes soon. A maid's clothing does not befit a princess like yourself. That does not matter. My priority right now is to break my curse. Ah, of course. They must truly have been frightened to feel the need to curse you. I feel an uncomfortable tug in my heart. Do you think that the Lucis Bearer would actually allow a witch to curse you? Okay, and? Sir Mithras shakes his head, disgust written on his features. When you suddenly disappeared that day, it was as if all traces of your existence had vanished. I searched for you endlessly, Princess. When you first appeared here in the palace, I did not recognize you immediately, but I felt a touch of magic in you and investigated. My curiosity is what prompted me to investigate you further. When I tried hard enough, I found that I could see through the glamour that had been cast on you. So Sir Mithras truly was the witch Parfait was referring to when she mentioned someone seen through the glamour. Imagine my surprise when I found out it was actually you. That fairy bear has been nothing but a nuisance to us witches. First she betrayed your mother, then she betrayed you before she had even met you. But Mother, she was the Tenebrae bearer corrupted by darkness. Parfait only did what she had to. Sir Mithras looks at me, clearly surprised. What lies have those people been whispering in your ear? Everything the Queen did, she did for us witches, to protect us from the wicked humans who destroyed our kind. It's clear to me where Sir Mithras' alliance is a lie. Sir Mithras sighs, running a hand through his hair, and then he continues speaking. On your 18th birthday, you will follow her footsteps. You will make this kingdom a place for all witches to prosper. I am nothing like her. I refuse to make people suffer to fuel the crystal. I never bore witness to the suffering the people had to go through during my mother's reign, but the stories are enough to reveal her true nature to me. It was hard to believe at first, but those people do not have any reason to lie to a servant like myself. They've nothing to gain from it. I finally understand why the hatred people had for me ran so deep, even when I did nothing to them. It was because I was the witch's daughter. Your mother wouldn't be happy to hear you say that. Let me assure you that this is not a destiny you can run from, dear princess. I will not let destiny take control of my life. I feigned tiredness by releasing a long yawn. I'm fucking tired too, it's 9 p.m. I'm sorry for cutting you short, Sir Mithras, but please excuse me, I'm getting tired. I'm about to walk past Sir Mithras when he starts speaking again, his voice a low whisper. I noticed that you've gotten closer to the family you so despised before, the prince included. I narrow my eyes at him. You care about him, don't you? I must confess that this surprises me, Princess. Such a relationship would certainly be a scandal. Even if you two are not blood related, he is still your stepbrother. That's what I've been saying this entire fucking time, man. Whatever will your dear father say about this? Well, to be fair, like I said in the last episode, As disgusting as it is not uncommon for royal families to practice incestuous relationships. So I don't know what he would say, to be completely honest with you. I clench my fists. He has no right to lecture me. I already know that these feelings are wrong. I know I can't have them. I assure you there's nothing between the both of us. Oh, is that so? Are those lies you uttered just to convince yourself? This man is beginning to try my patience. Allow me to share a little secret with you, princess. I'm not interested. I head for the door and reach for the knob. Oh, but I think it's something you would be most curious about. I do, after all, know the consequences of the prince failing to break his curse. I also happen to know that someone special to him is getting married tomorrow. My hand freezes. How do you know about all this? I know all the happenings around this place. That is my job, princess. Master of whispers, master of spies. Now tell me, do you know the ending to the fairy tale, The Little Mermaid? My blood runs cold when I remember what Emmeline told me about the fairy tale. If the prince fell in love with and married someone else, the Little Mermaid's heart would break and she would dissolve into sea foam. I conducted my own investigation and actually met the witch who bestowed the curse upon the prince. In meeting her, I found out everything that there is to know about it. I turned to regard Mithras with a frown. Ah, it seems I've finally gotten your attention. What do you plan on doing to Rod? Sir Mithras shrugs. To him? Nothing really. I was merely curious. I wanted to know what you saw in him. What do you know about his curse? It stays true to the fairy tale, only in this case the prince gives up his voice for a title. Still, it will end the same way. The girl will fall in love with someone else, despite his sacrifice. You mean... on his beloved's wedding day, the prince will die. I had thought you might have reached the same conclusion. Tragic, don't you think? I had the same thought, but... is Rod truly gonna die? So the reason Rod gave up on breaking his curse was because he knew that Viorica would never love him back. He knew that he was gonna die the moment Viorica got married. Dread begins to wash over me. Why not ask him yourself? As if orchestrated by magic, the double doors open and Rod steps inside. When he sees me, his expression relaxes. I'm gonna save because I'm going to make the wrong choice to get the bad ending. I've been looking all over for you. I want to speak with you about my discussion with Lady Parfait. I turn around to face Sir Mithras once again, but to my surprise, he's already gone. When did Sir Mithras leave? Ashiel, is something wrong? Was Sir Mithras really speaking the truth? I'm gonna save again, cause I'm gonna choose the wrong choice. Ask him. Is it true that you'll die when Viorica marries Desmond? I see you're still stuck on the same theory. Have you been snooping around again? Please answer my question, Rod. And if I am, why do you not want anyone to help you fix this? I don't need to tell you everything, Ashiel. His voice is now soft, his expression tired. I've been aware of another way to break my curse from the beginning, but I'd rather die than do what it is I need to do. Do what? Have you not read? Rod's voice trails off when he sees my confused expression. That's right! In the original story, not the one that Disney came up with that was all like fantasy and sweet and good. In the original story by Hans Christian Andersen, the mermaid must kill her prince to break it. If he does not fall in love with her. So, if this is true to the fairy tale, he would have to kill Viorica to break the curse, and he doesn't want to kill Viorica, so he'd rather die himself. He clears his throat. Forget it. There's nothing more you can do. The reason I never told anyone the truth of my curse is because I never wanted anyone to blame themselves for not being able to help me. I was already lost cause the moment Viorica really fell in love with someone else. I could never take that happiness away from her. Rod becomes silent, his gaze downcast. The vulnerable expression catches me by surprise. You should have told me about your curse a long time ago. How many times must I repeat myself? Telling you about my curse won't change the outcome. I could have tried to help you. Why are you so insistent on helping me? Because I care about you. My face warms up when the words escape from my lips. Rod also flushes. What are you saying? That I'm worried about you on Emmeline's behalf, of course. I don't want her to think I let you die. Rod lets out a deep sigh. Just stop talking. You're in no position to tell me what to do. Ashiel. There's a hint of warning in his voice. Now you better let me help you or... Oh, okay. My words are cut off when Rod presses his lips to mine. It's only a brief kiss, and when he pulls away, his usual somberness is returned. I told you to stop talking. I can only stare back at him, baffled. She's still your stepsister, bro. Rod, you do realize you just kissed the princess. Rod looks at Sebi, then at me. His face colors once more. He takes a step back, his lips pressed together. I'm sorry. Without any other warning, Rod turns abruptly and stalks out of the room. Sebi falls from his shoulder and falls to the ground, but Rod does not notice in his hurry to leave. I stare after him in shock. I can't believe he just ran away. I walk to where Sebi is and kneel down to pick him up. Are you alright? I'm fine, thank you, princess. Sebi tilts his head to the side. That Rod. I wonder when he'll start acting like a man. Suddenly kissing a girl like that is so unromantic. That's what you're worried about? Not that they're step-siblings? Okay. I think about the warmth of Rod's lips pressed against mine and flush again. Rod may not say much, but he has a lot going on in his head. Thoughts he doesn't ever want anyone to know. I don't want to speak on his behalf, but I know he really does care about you, princess. He's just a little standoffish and has a difficult time showing his emotions. He's sensitive like that. Take it from me, I'm always in his head. I care about him too, but what will become of my feelings once I break my curse? I'll return to being his stepsister when this is all over. No, this is not the time to mull over such thoughts. Sorry for asking this of you, princess, but can you return me to Rod? That boy is useless without me. The exasperation in Sebi's voice makes me smile. Sebi acts like Rod's older sibling. Of course. When Rod doesn't open the door, I knock again. Rod's eyes widen as soon as he sees me. His face flushes a dark crimson. I'm here to return Sebi. Rod nods before slowly taking Sebi from my hands. Thanks. Be careful not to drop me again next time. There's a hint of smile on Rod's face as he taps Sebi's face. Sorry. He looks so much more at ease when he smiles. Rod faces me again with an apologetic expression. Ashiel, I really am sorry for what I did earlier. So the proper one is you don't need to apologize. So I wonder if it's just like if you make one wrong decision it'll give you the bad end, or if it like depends on how many bad ones you've done. In which case, just for no, I'll see what happens. You don't have to apologize. I know you didn't intend to do that in the first place. The truth is, he trails off, then averts his eyes slowly to the floor. Suffice it to say, I'm not supposed to feel this way about you. No shit, buddy! What exactly are you feeling? Rod flushes deep red before turning away. Don't ask me such an embarrassing question. The hovering silence becomes more pronounced as we both stop talking. You said you wanted to talk to me about something you discussed with Lady Parfait? Yes. I meant to tell you that Delora will be here tomorrow to investigate. Now that we know Sir Alcaster is not the witch, we have to start our investigations over. Actually, about that, I know who the witch is. Huh? You do? It's Sir Mithros. He's the real witch. Sir Mithros? So in Sir Alcaster's thrown out accusations last night. They were true. Sir Mithros is also already aware that Delora's been investigating the palace. We need to warn her. Then I'll send Lady Parfait a quick message. We need to keep up our guard around him too, especially you. I'm sure he already knows you're the crown princess. No shit, buddy. Excuse me. I nod in response. For now, we should wait for Delora to show up tomorrow. But it's getting late. You should go and get some rest. The moment he says the words, I realize he's correct. My eyelids are heavy. You're right. I think I shall take my leave. I'm about to leave when Rod suddenly grabs my hand. What now? I turn to face him. Ashiel, this is the first time I've heard him say my name so warmly. Ooh, I just want to... I can almost hear my heartbeat ringing in my ears as I stare at him with anticipation, but Rod says nothing else. Rod eventually releases my hand with a shake of his head. It's nothing. I can't help but feel dejected. Good night, Ashiel. Good night, Rod. Moments after Rod closes the door, I hear a familiar voice whispering in my ear. Ah, I see. I jump back in surprise and stare at him with wide eyes. Sir Mithros is leaning casually against one of the pedestals. So, that's where the prince disappears to every now and then. Oh, fuck. I had no reason to care before, but now I see it. If my guess is correct, he's also in league with the Lucis Bearer. When I do not answer, Sir Mithros smiles and shrugs. Well, it does not matter. I glance around us and notice the green shield from earlier. Once again, no one will hear this conversation. Now that the prince has confirmed your doubts, what will your next course of action be? You want to help him break the curse, yes? Rod may have given up on breaking his curse, but I refuse to do nothing. From the way Sir Mithros is taunting me, he must know of some other way to break the curse. Rod will not be happy about this, but I need to use whatever means necessary to save him. Do you know how to break his curse, Sir Mithros? Ah, I will assume you've not read the full fairy tale if you don't know. Yes, princess, I know. Tell me. Mithros cocks an eyebrow and waves a finger at me. Do you not realize how witches work, princess? I propose a deal. I'll help you, but you must help me with something in return. Help you? If you're planning on betraying the king. I have no plans of taking the crown, or harming any of the members of the royal family. What? Then what do you want from me? I prefer keeping you in suspense. I do enjoy surprises. You'll find out the day after tomorrow. That's your 18th birthday. I look at him perplexed. Why does it have to be on my birthday? Don't worry, Your Highness. What I request from you will also make for a pleasant gift. What do you say? I bite my lower lip as I consider. I'm worried about Sir Mithros' request, but I no longer have time. The Orca's marriage is tomorrow, and Sir Mithros has the upper hand. I understand. Good. Now remember, dear Ashiel, witches are bound to their oaths. In order for the prince to regain his voice and life, something must be taken by force, just like in the fairy tale. What does he mean by that? Tell me what I must do. Oh, I did forget to mention this, but it's not you who must act, but the prince. What? If Rod could help himself, he already would have done so. Please trust me, princess. You'll have my aid, and I'll make sure the prince's curse is broken. Oh. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust things here. Today is Viorka's wedding day, and also today Rod is destined to die. Sir Mithras explained his plan briefly last night. He told me that he would have a valuable item delivered to Rod that he would need to use to break his curse. He further explained that it was something he would need to use after the wedding. I tried to question him further, but he disappeared before I could say anything. Before I could sing, he needed to start his preparations. Wow, that took me a minute to read. Jesus. I don't completely trust him, but I'm running out of time and have no choice right now. The royal family has left the palace to attend Viorka's wedding. It's unusual for the king to attend another noble's wedding, but Viorka is an exception given that she's one of Rod's and Emmeline's best friends. Despite Sir Mithras' reassurance, I'm still restless. Sir Mithras told me that everything would be alright, that Rod would not instantly die the moment Viorka got married. But why must his involvement be reserved for a time after the wedding? Why does he not act now? Someone looks like they're in a bad mood. Hello, Delora. Delora suddenly stands before me, smirking. Her appearance shocks me so badly I nearly dropped the dishes in my hands. What impeccable timing! We've heard from the prince about Mithras. No wonder I was iffy about the man. I should have realized he was the witch. Do you know him? Yes, I do. Delora walks closer and places both of her hands on my shoulders. Listen to me, princess. I am warning you. Stay away from Mithras. Do you understand? That man is a sly devil. He cannot be trusted. I take deep breaths to still my rapidly beating heart. I hope I'll not regret asking for his help. Princess, I need you to promise me that you will stay away from Mithras. Yes, of course. Good. For the time being, I'll resume my investigation. If I'm lucky, I'll find out what Mithras hopes to accomplish. Actually, he's not in the palace right now. He went with the royal family to attend a wedding. A wedding, huh? How unusual. I can only assume he must be there at the wedding to help Rod. Well then, better make use of his absence while I can. I'll see you later, princess. When I'm left to my own thoughts, my mind returns to the issue of Rod's curse. Sir Mithras mentioned a similarity with the fairy tale, which means I may have a chance of finding out more. I decide to go to the library when I have time to pick up the book. I'm now on my way back to my quarters with the book in hand when I see Rod walking toward me from the other side. His eyes are fixed on the floor, so he doesn't notice me as I approach. Rod? He's still alive. Does that mean Sir Mithras has succeeded? Oh, it's just you. Rod's voice still comes from Sebi. The realization is this deep fear inside me. He's still cursed. How much time does he have left? Much to my surprise, Rod actually smiles at me. The smile is forced, however, and doesn't reach his eyes. That's the right choice. I was waiting. I quickly clamped my hand over my mouth after I asked the question. Rod just saw the person he loves getting married today. I already know how he feels. I apologize. I shouldn't have asked that. Rod looks at me surprised. Rod looks at me surprised. Then to my shock, he starts chuckling. Why are you laughing? You look like a criminal caught in the act of a crime. I apologize for trying to be sensitive, Your Highness. Without realizing it, I smile back at him. It looks like Rod has finally learned to converse with me normally. I hope this will not be the last time I see him smile like this. I'm tired, Ashiel. I'll retire for the night. Rod looks at me again and smiles. Good night, Ashiel. Without waiting for my answer, Rod begins to walk away. I glance down at the book in my hands and then slowly open up to the last page of The Little Mermaid. I start reading the section where the mermaid sisters explain how to get her fins back. Take this knife. Before the sun rises, you must plunge it into the heart of the prince, and you'll be a mermaid once again. The book falls from my hands and collapses to the floor. I stare at it, dumbfounded. Wait, this means Rod needs to kill Viorka? Yes. Then the item that Sir Mithras mentioned earlier. Could it be the knife? I need to find him. I turn and start running in the direction of Rod's room in hopes I'll still be able to catch Sir Mithras there. I wonder... Because I did choose that one incorrect choice early on in the chapter. I wonder if instead of killing Viorica, he's just gonna use it to kill himself. That seems a bit dark, but I wouldn't put it past this game. When I come to the end of the hallway, however, it's not Mithras who stands by Rod's door. Emmeline? Emmeline's slowly walking in the direction of the throne room. Her movements seem oddly mechanical. I rush toward her. Princess Emmeline! Where are you going? Must go to Rod. Why is she going to the throne room? Rod's back in his room. My eyes catch on something shining in Emmeline's hand. The knife. My heart nearly stops when I see that it's a knife. Emmeline, what are you? If he kills his beloved with this blade, his curse will break, and he won't die. It's as if she's in a trance. Is this Sir Mithras' doing? Is she under one of his spells? Emmeline, snap out of it! Emmeline starts walking again, ignoring me. When I turn to approach her again, thinking to steal away the knife, a shadow suddenly comes to stand between us. Varg looms in front of me, smirking. Where did you come from? Let me through, Varg. No can do, princess. Don't you want to save the prince? I look at Emmeline, who has not even turned to glance at us. I glare at Varg, who's still standing in my way, grinning. Step aside, Varg. Ah, feisty. You're a far more interesting princess than your stepsister. I try to sidestep, but Varg follows my emotions. I try again and again, but he just thwarts my progress. He holds his hands up in the air, eyebrows raised. Tell me, what would you do if I let you go? Would you stop him from killing the girl? Rod would never kill her. He would never do anything to harm the person he loves. He refused to do it and has no reason to do it now. Varg is silent for a few moments as he considers. Interesting. What's interesting? He steps aside and bows. Go ahead then. You're letting me go? I'd like to see this play end as it may, without any strings attached. Oh, I am getting the right one. Even though I made the wrong choice earlier. Okay, you know what then? We're gonna go back and see if I choose the wrong choice again, if that'll change it. So if I go back to this and do I apologize as well. Now you should stop insisting on helping me. I refuse. Rod sighs. You really are stubborn. That makes the both of us. The hovering silence becomes more pronounced as we both stop talking. You said you wanted to talk to me about something you discussed with Lady Parfait? Yes. I'm to say that Delora will be here tomorrow to investigate. Now we know that Sir Alcester is not the witch. We have to start our investigations over. Actually, about that, I know who the witch is. You do? It's Sir Mithras, he's the real witch. Okay, so we're gonna skip to the next choice. And we're gonna do another incorrect choice. Are you alright? I'm fine. Are you sure? Yes, I'm sure. But I'm tired, so for tonight I want to rest. Good night. Without waiting for my answer, Rod begins to walk away. I glance down at the book in my hands and slowly open up to the last page of The Little Mermaid. Fast forward. Yes. I stop my tracks and I see Sir Mithras standing in front of the main door to the throne room. He looks at me expectantly as I approach. Sir Mithras? Good evening, Your Highness. Such a lovely night tonight, isn't it? Only half an hour left before you turn 18. Don't forget our deal, Princess. Come midnight, I'll be requesting your aid in exchange for helping the prince break his curse. I clench my hands into tight fists. Helping the prince break his curse? Rod killing someone is not what I wanted. Sir Mithras puts a finger to his lips. You wouldn't want to attract the attention of the knights, would you? There'd be quite a bit of explaining to do then. I glare at him, then take a deep breath and lower my voice. You didn't tell me that breaking Rod's curse meant killing someone. Oh, but I'm only honoring my end of the deal. Perhaps you should have done your research before agreeing. The grin on his lips never wavers, but I can see the amusement in his eyes. I relied entirely on the story Emmeline told me, and that was my biggest mistake. I should have read the full fairy tale. But now it seems you finally know the full story of the prince's fairy tale. To break his curse, Prince Rod must kill his beloved with the knife his sisters brought him, just like in the fairy tale. Sir Mithras continues to smile at me. I realize that he's speaking slowly, like one might speak to a child. So condescending. No, wait. I start to realize that Sir Mithras is purposefully drawing out this conversation to stall me. I need to go. Mithras does not stop me when I slide past him to open the doors to the throne room. The first thing I see when I enter the throne room is Rod. He's standing in the middle of the area with Emmeline in his arms. Is she alright? Rod gently places Emmeline on the throne. He leans down to look more closely at her sleeping face. Then he reaches down to check the object in her hand before he faces me. I can see the metallic glimmer in his hand and know that he's holding the knife Emmeline brought with her. Where did she even get this knife? He pauses to stare at it, then turns suddenly, eyes widening at some sight in another part of the room. I follow his gaze to the corner of the room where Viorica floats midair. Her eyes are closed and her hands are clasped. It's as if she's sleeping. Viorica? But how? Such a pleasant surprise, isn't it? Sir Mithras walks into the room with his hands clasped behind his back. You! Good evening, Your Highness. Is this your doing? Sir Mithras just smiles at him pleasantly. Rod only glares back at him. Guards! Sir Mithras clicks his tongue and chuckles. My apologies, Your Highness, but no one will be able to hear you, no matter how loud you shout. Not even your rich friend will hear anything through my magic. He knows Dolores here. I glance around the room and notice that Sir Mithras has created his silent green barrier. It's the same magic he used yesterday. Now, let us get back to the matter at hand. You're running out of time, Prince Rod. It'd be a shame to see you perish here after the princess went through all the trouble of asking me to save your life. Achille, what is he talking about? The princess didn't want you to die, so she asked me to help break the curse. Sir Mithras spreads his arms, gesturing towards both Emmeline and Viorica. And so, I've been kind enough to set the stage, gather its actors for what I hope to be a wonderful finale. I can't help but wonder how this fairy tale will end. Why would you do this, Achille? I didn't know it meant killing Viorica, I swear. That's why I came here, to stop you. I told you so many times that there was nothing you could do to help me, and yet you still refused to listen to me. Because I refused to let you die. Can you not see that you're important to me, Rod? Oh my, what a scandal. Achille. I turned to Sir Mithras and stared daggers at him. I asked you to help, Rod. Why did you involve Emmeline in this? It was a necessary requirement that the princess be the one to give him the knife, Your Highness. It was, after all, the mermaid sister that bought her the knife to kill her beloved. Bro. So that's how she knew about all this. She came here crying and begging me to break my curse because she didn't want me to die. I almost wanted to do it. But I could never kill someone. That's why I'll always refuse to break my curse, even if I really want to live. Perhaps I miscalculated. Oh well, this can be remedied. Sir Mithras waves his hand. His fingers begin to glow subtly subtly with magic. Jesus. What are you... Rod! A faint green glow surrounds Rod as he doubles over. What are you doing to him? What I should have done to begin with. The witch who cursed him said that he must do this of his own accord, but seeing as he refuses, I'm gonna have to bend the rules slightly. Rod stands abruptly and begins... Wow. Rod stands abruptly and begins walking toward Viorica. The knife in his hand glistens beneath the patches of scattered moonlight in the room. Princess, he's gonna kill Viorica! Stop this, Sir Mithros! Where's Delora when we need her? I'll run toward Rod and wrap my arms around his waist in an attempt to stop him, but whether through magic or his own strength, he continues onward. I end up being dragged behind him. Rod, snap out of it! Rod! I must kill her. His gaze is so glassy and his words so mechanical that he sounds nothing like himself. No! Mithros, stop this! I'm ending our deal! My apologies, Your Highness, but not even I can dispel my magic once it's been casted. It will only fade of its own volition, once what needs to be done has transpired. That, or perhaps in the most unlikely of circumstances, the prince will simply shake the spell himself. Though Mithros' words are apologetic, his expression is anything but. In fact, he looks amused by it all. Not so fast! Yes, Delora! A crimson ball of light rushes towards Mithros. He waves his hand through the air and is barely able to conjure a shield to protect himself from Delora's magic. Delora! It wasn't exactly easy to find you all, especially with the silencing spell. Such a nuisance. That's not important. Help me stop Rod. Frost slowly appears beneath Rod's feet. It spreads up his legs, freezing him in place. I sigh with relief as I collapse onto the floor. My arms are sore with the effort of trying to hold Rod back. Mithros clicks his tongue as he faces Delora. I don't believe you were invited to this play, traitor. Light gathers around Mithros' hand. Moments later, he releases the energy towards her. Delora, in turn, conjures a barrier, successfully protecting herself from Mithros' magic. I always did fancy myself a party crasher. Still, to think you were alive this whole time. Myth. Myth? His real name. He's one of the Tenebron Bearer's servants. This person was my mother's servant? Allow me to correct you. I'm her only faithful servant. I am nothing like the ungrateful bastard who betrayed her to the fairies. What is he talking about? Well, whatever it is you're planning, forget about it. There's no way we're letting you get away with it. Oh, well, do try your best. But first, a reminder. I'm the superior witch here. Energy crackles in the air as sparks begin to form around his hand. The spell is taking longer than his other spells. And it's Delora's worry moments before she's able to cast a shield on herself. This isn't good. Mithros releases the bolts of lightning in Delora's direction. The impact causes both the shield and the ground to shudder. Delora! The smoke clears and miraculously, Delora stands unharmed. No sooner has a sigh escaped my lips than another frightening sound echoes across the room. There's a loud crack and I realize that it's coming from Delora's shield. Everything after that happens in a blur. Delora's still trying to hold the shield up when Mithros casts another spell at it. It shatters and the magic seeps through and hits her directly. Delora! Really now, have you forgotten the most important lesson in defense magic? Always conjure another shield after being hit by a powerful spell. Or, oh, I do apologize. Perhaps I didn't give you enough time to cast another shield. How thoughtless of me. Delora lays on the floor, unmoving. Delora... I'm about to rush to her side when Mithros moves to stand in front of me with a malicious grin on his face. It'll do you no good to be in denial, Princess. How could you? How could you hurt another witch? It's not a crime to destroy a traitor. He looks back at Delora with clear disdain, then he sets his eyes back on me and raises his eyebrows. It is foolish of you to try and stop this. You wanted this, and I will not allow you to renege, whatever the fuck that word is, on our deal. The prince will break his curse, and you will help me. Absolutely fucking not, sir. Help you? Yes, I went to great pains to make sure Allcaster kept you safe just so you could repay me. You said that you made a deal with Allcaster to borrow the knight's assistance. And what would I need the knight's assistance for, dear princess? I never needed the knights. I just needed Allcaster to keep you safe. I would have gotten rid of him myself if I wasn't sure the king would eventually find me. So this whole time you were only trying to keep me safe? To use me? Use is such a simple, ugly word. Remember, I just want you to help me. Princess! I turn around and realize Dolores' spell on Rod has faded and that he's now only a few feet away from Viorica. Rod! I force myself to run towards him as fast as I can manage. I will not let you kill anyone! I don't know what I must do to stop him, so I do the first thing that comes to mind. I put myself between Rod and Viorica just as he's about to plunge the knife into her. Princess! There it is. My body is racked with pain the moment the blade sinks into my shoulder. Ugh. I collapse to the floor and hold on to my injured shoulder. I can feel blood seeping between my fingers. You fool! You could have easily been killed! I don't care. I care about Rod. I'm not gonna say that because that's her stepbrother. And I would never let him do something he would regret for the rest of his life. I cringe. Tears cloud my vision as the pain worsens. Achille! I feel Rod's arms around me as he cradles me to his chest. I look up at him to see that his eyes are fixed on my bleeding shoulder. Rod looks at me with anguish. He grabs a handkerchief from his pocket and presses it to my shoulder. I can't believe I did this. I stare in shock as his lips move. It's not Sebi speaking, but him. Your voice. You broke your curse. But how? A bright light envelops us, and for a few moments I have to close my eyes against its brightness. I reach out to grab at my necklace, but it's gone. I reopen my eyes in panic, but the necklace is definitely not there. A shield, the glass slippers. I glance down to see a pair of smooth glass slippers on my feet. You broke your curse by breaking mine. I heard the sound of shattering glass and I turned to see Mithras staring at a broken vial. Why is that? Frost has begun to form at his feet and is now spreading up his legs. What is happening? Always have a backup, as they say. Seems like you're the one who forgot the basics of combat. Never turn your back on an opponent unless you're sure that they're dead. Your bloated ego does wonders in turning the tide of battle. Dolores now back on her feet and walking toward Mithras. She dusts off her dress as she moves. Delora is unharmed? But how? Did you really think I'd forgot to conjure another shield? The frost has now made its way up to Mithras' neck. Inconceivable! A lowly witch like you could never cast this powerful of a spell. Delora gestures at the glass shards on the floor. That's where Parfait's new special potion comes in handy. It makes my magic more powerful. The second most basic lesson is to never underestimate your opponent. Looks like you were the terrible pupil. Mithras opens his mouth to speak, or perhaps to scream, but by the time he opens his mouth, the frost has completely devoured him, leaving him nothing but an icy sculpture. Delora, Achille's... Has her bleeding stopped? I think so. I can't make out what they say after that. My world starts spinning and everything starts to blur, so I close my eyes. I feel Dolores' hand on my forehead. The warmth relaxes me somewhat. We've got you, princess. Hang in there, Achille. My body becomes heavier by the second as I lean my head against Rod's chest, and then I feel myself falling into never-ending darkness. When I open my eyes, the first thing I see are the soft rays of sunlight seeping through the window. I'm in my own room? I attempt to sit up and cringe when I feel a sharp pain in my shoulder. I reach out to touch it, only to realize that it's been neatly bandaged. Despite the injury, my body feels oddly light, stronger than it was before. I remember I placed myself in front of Viorica to stop Rod from hurting her. But where did this energy come from? Is that still not enough to get the bad ending? Is this the good ending? The door opens and Emily walks in with a tray of food in her hand. She stops when she realizes I'm staring at her and nearly drops the tray in her rush to stand beside me. Achille, you're finally awake! I was so worried about you! I'm sorry. This was all my fault. What are you talking about? It was mine, not yours. I remember bringing the knife to Rod, but... I can't remember much of what happened before or after that. It's that? Just that when I woke up in the throne room, I saw you were bleeding in Rod's arms. I thought you were gonna... The rest of Emmeline's words break to pieces as she begins to cry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for forgetting about you. I made you work too hard while you were my personal maid, and... I shake my head with a sigh. It wasn't your fault I was cursed, Emmeline. But... I look at her tear-stained face. She was not at fault, yet here she is crying. She really is a good person. I spread my arms. Achille? I turn away, suddenly embarrassed. You looked like you needed a hug. Emmeline stares at me for a few moments. I'm about to reconsider when I suddenly feel her arms around me. I'm so happy. I hug her back and stroke her hair. I can't help but smile at the warmth that spreads in my chest. Thank you. Emmeline pulls back, her face full of concern. What'll happen to you and Rod now? I saw how close the two of you got, and I saw how Rod looked at you last night. Wait, last night? So today's my birthday, and the day I become the bearer. Is that the reason I feel so strangely energized? Oh! Emily walks up to one of my doll shelves and picks up the doll she placed there months ago. Happy birthday! I meant to give this to you earlier as a surprise before you were cursed. Damn it, how do I get the bad one? I think this is the good one. Fuck! Anyway, I know it's not as pretty as the other dolls from your collection, but I hope you like it. It's beautiful, thank you. I take the doll in my arms as a knock sounds on the door. Come in! The door opens and Rod steps inside. His eyes widen when he sees Emmeline. Em? Oh, I was just about to leave. Emmeline slides off my bed and heads to the door, but before she closes it, she turns to us once again. I know how complicated this will be for the both of you, but... God, my face is so... This lighting is terrible. I need to know that I'll support you. I mean, okay. Like I was saying before, it's... At least in real life, it's not uncommon for royal families to practice incest. However, this is still gross. So, my lips are sealed. Emmeline winks before finally closing the door behind her. There's an awkward silence in the room before Rod approaches me and sits on the edge of the bed. How you feeling? It still hurts, but I'll be fine. What's wrong? I'm just not used to hearing your voice from your own lips. Oh. But I see you still have Sebi with you. I've grown too fond of him to completely set him aside. He's helped me through a lot. Bummer. I can't read his thoughts anymore. There was never any need for you to do that in the first place. Is that so? Rod shakes his head and sighs silently. So, what happened last night? How's it you were able to break your curse? You didn't kill Viorica. In the original fairy tale, the Little Mermaid could retain her humanity if the prince loved her back. Though it never happens in the fairy tale, it's still an element of her curse. But still, because the prince never fell in love with her, the only way for the mermaid to live was to kill him. I'm not gonna say that. With you unknowingly, when you told me you... as well last night, that broke my curse. I feel my cheeks turn warm. Rod coughs, his own cheeks flushed. So, there you have it. The Little Mermaid never had a fairy tale ending, but I did. I never had to kill Viorica. But because my curse started with Viorica, I assumed it had to end with her too. It turns out the person I care about just needed to care about me back. I was mistaken. It never needed to be Viorica. I see. We stare at each other for a few moments, the awkward silence returning. I change the subject as quickly as I can. What became of Sir Mithros? Flora brought him back to Lady Parfait. She's the one who will properly punish him. And what of Viorica? Flora returned her to her home yesterday. She doesn't remember anything that happened. Everything's back to how it was then. You're back to being my stepbrother? I can't help but feel crestfallen at this truth. Blood binds, but so do sibling bonds. Rod and I can never have what either of us want. I'm sorry. I can't fucking deal. It's so fucking gross. I'm sorry. If I had never made that deal with the witch, then maybe we might have actually been able to be together. But had you not been cursed, our paths would have never crossed. Okay. You can read that shit yourselves. A month later. Ever since I broke my curse and became the new Tinnerbrown Bear, I've been training under Parfandalore so I can learn to control my newfound powers. I never wanted this responsibility, but it's a burden I was born into. It's necessary I help maintain the balance between light and dark that's been missing for so long. Now that I'm the new Tinnerbrown Bear, Parfait wants the two of us to work together in maintaining that peace. I don't wish to cause any pain or suffering to the people, especially to the people whom I cherish. Sometimes I still wonder what Sir Mithras wanted me to do for him, but that's not important anymore. I still have much to learn, but right now, as for the new bearer, my priority is to get rid of the fairy tale curse once and for all. For the time being, everyone at the Marken waits patiently for the day I will learn to lift their curses. Since everything has transpired, my relationship with Ophelia and Emmeline has improved. Emmeline's fond of calling me the best sister, even though I'm the only one she has. My relationship with the king, however, has yet to be mended. I'm doing my best to open up to him and give him a chance, but the efforts are slow going. I do not ask why he acted the way he did in the past, but I know that in order to move forward, I must let go of the past. Excuse me. It's finally time. I've been waiting for this all day. I head back into my room and change my dress into something less conspicuous. Afterwards, I head into town and into the forest for my designated meeting. It's a relief the king allows me to leave the palace on my own. I would not have been able to come here with guards. I guess me being the Tinnerbrown Bear puts him at ease. If the title reassures him and allows me to come out here on my own to meet Rod, then I'm not complaining. Rod still uses the secret passage he always used to sneak out of the palace. Emily knows about our secret meetings and helps cover for our disappearances if necessary. It makes me happy that Emily approves of our relationship, that we don't have to keep it secret from absolutely everyone. At first, Ron and I both attempted to keep our distance without making it seem too obvious to everyone around us. Though Ophelia seems to suspect something's going on between the two of us, she's not asked questions. Emmeline wasn't happy with our decision. She said she felt terrible that we would be forced to let go of something so precious on account of our titles. She was right. More than that, it was difficult for the two of us to deny our feelings for each other. In the end, we came up with a solution, even if it's temporary. We decided to secretly meet up in the forest every once in a while so that we could be together without any pretenses. Even just for a little while. When I catch sight of Rod, I run toward him and throw my arms around his neck. I feel Rod snuggle his face into the crook of mine. May I have this dance? I take Rod's hand and begin dancing to a silent song. The first time I danced with him, it was to prove a point. It was when neither of us even liked each other. I remember this as I stare at him. What, is something on my face? I was just remembering how much you hated me back then, and here we are. Fate sure loves to mess with us. I smile at him. Just for a little longer. I want to be by his side. I don't know how long I can keep this up, but every day I wish for the same thing. I wish I can live. I'm not saying that. I wonder, would that ever be possible? Damn it, I was trying to get the bad end. That's why I went back and chose the wrong answers. Fuck. Hold on. Okay. Now we're finally at this, and we're gonna choose this one. I went all the way back to chapter 4 to make all the wrong choices from chapter 4 onwards. And see, Mary's explain how to get her friends back. Take this knife, sunrises. You must plunge into the heart of the prince and you'll be a mermaid once again. But yeah, I went all the way back to chapter 4 to make all the wrong decisions so we can get the last ending. The item that Sir Mithras mentioned earlier, could it be the knife? I need to find him. I turn slowly in the direction of Rod's room in hopes I'll still be able to catch Sir Mithras there. When I come to the end of the hallway, however, it's not Mithras who stands by Rod's door. Emmeline? Emmeline's slowly walking in the direction of the throne room. Her movements seem oddly mechanical. I rush toward her. Princess Emmeline, where are you going? Must go to Rod. Why is she going to the throne room? Rod's back in his room. My eyes catch on something shining in Emmeline's hand. The knife. My heart nearly stops when I see it's a knife. Emmeline, what are you? If he kills his beloved with this blade, the curse will break and he won't die. It's as if she's in a trance. Is this Sir Mithras' doing? Is she under one of his spells? Emmeline, snap out of it! Emmeline starts walking again, ignoring me. When I try to approach her again, thinking to steal away the knife, a shadow suddenly comes to stand between us. Varg looms in front of me. Where'd you come from? Let me through! No can do, princess. No can do, princess. Don't you want to save the prince? I look at Emmeline, who's not even turned to glance at us. I glare at Varg, who's still standing in my way, grinning. Step aside, Varg. Ah, feisty. You're a far more interesting princess than your stepsister. I try to sidestep, but Varg follows my motions. I try again and again, but he just thwarts my progress. He holds his hand up in the air, eyebrows raised. Tell me, what would you do if I did let you go? Would you stop him from killing the girl? Rod would never kill her. He'd never do anything to harm the person he loves. He refused to do it and has no reason to do it now. Varg is silent for a few moments as he considers. Interesting. He steps aside and bows. Go ahead then. You're letting me go? I like to see this play end as it may, without any strings attached. Did I get enough to... Yes! Thank you. That's what I wanted. When I push open the door, I find Rod kneeling down. Emmeline lies on the floor in front of him, unconscious. Emmeline! She's fine. She's just asleep. Something glints in Rod's hand. Even from this distance, I know it's the same knife Emmeline was holding earlier. Out of the corner of my eye, I see someone slouched against one of the pillars. Viorica? I rush to her side in silent relief when I see the gentle rise and fall of her chest. She's still alive. How'd she get here? It was Sir Mithras' plan. I remember walking back to my room after talking with you. I blacked out, and when I came to, I was already in here with Viorica. I've already checked on her. She seems to be under some kind of sleeping spell. Em came in just a few moments ago, passed me the knife, and then simply collapsed after begging me to kill Viorica. I think Em's under a spell as well. Rod glances down at the knife in his hand, expression glassy. Em almost convinced me. She pleaded that I not leave any of them behind. It sounds as if I want to die and leave my family, but... He stares at the knife for a few moments, then he curses as he slams his fist to the ground. I can't kill her. Why would Sir Mithras want me to do this? Guilt floods my chest, making it difficult to breathe. I was the one who asked Sir Mithras to help Rod. He said he knew how to break his curse. But I didn't realize that in order to break his curse, he needed to kill the person he loved. I relied entirely on the story Emmeline told me, and that was my biggest mistake. I should have read the full fairy tale. I could never kill her. Such a shame. Sir Mithras emerges from the shadows, looking at us with disappointment. To break his curse, Prince Rod must kill his beloved with the knife his sister has brought him, just like in the fairy tale. Mithras turns to Rod. And here I thought your sister might be able to change your mind. You were, after all, supposed to do this of your own accord. I was wrong. I shouldn't have underestimated your stubbornness. Casting a spell on you would have solved this problem entirely. Why are you doing this? Well... Sir Mithras shifts his gaze to me. Rod follows his gaze to me and raises his eyebrows. There's no use lying to him now. I asked Sir Mithras to help me break your curse. You what? I didn't know you were meant to kill Viorica. Rod shakes his head, his face marred with disappointment. Anyone who tries to help me will inevitably make things harder for me, Ashil. I wanted to help you, Rod. I've already made up my mind. If you really want to help me, then please respect my decision. Please. Shame. And here I thought I'd be witnessing a dramatic finale tonight. Sir Mithras starts to walk away. I'm about to chase after him, but then I realize there's nothing else he can do. Rod has made his decision. I feel my heart plummet as I slowly nod at him. So, there really is no other way? I could never break my curse like this. Viorica was my first love, and my good friend. And besides that, my love for her faded a long time ago. She's been replaced. I guess I'll fucking read this. You've been my beloved for quite some time already, Ashiel. But it doesn't matter, does it? I'll die soon. Rod. I feel a heavy weight on my chest as if some force is crushing my heart. I'm sorry. I promised myself I would save your life, but I failed. I blink back, the tears brimming in my eyes. Rod stands and moves over to stand before me. He places a hand on my cheek. You've done nothing wrong, Ashiel, so please, don't blame yourself. What did I expect to happen? Even if Rod had killed Viorica today, he would have carried that burden for the rest of his life. And all because I asked a witch to make him do something he didn't want to do in the first place. Rod reaches for Sebi and places him in my hands. Once the clock strikes 12, I'm gonna disappear. It's really a shame that I'll be disappearing on your birthday. It would have been nice to celebrate this one with you. Promise you'll take care of my family for me? There must be a way. You can't just go just yet. I'm sorry, Ashiel. I can't even bring myself to consider what's happening. Panic engulfs my senses as I stare at Rod, who's becoming translucent. There we go. Rod, you're... If only I could be with you and everyone else for just a bit longer. Despite the fact that his words waver, when Rod looks at me, his smile is bright and warm. My vision blurs as tears gather in my eyes. I like you, Ashiel. If we'd had more time together, I think I would have grown to truly love you. In the next instant, his body has dissolved into soft orbs of light. The light gathers in the air, then begins to fade. I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. I already got the good end. We're fine. Jesus. I had to go so far back just to fix that. But we already got the good end, so it's fine. It's fine. We're good. I'll even show you the picture of the good end if you don't believe me. It's right here. They're dancing in the forest together. If they weren't step-siblings, it'd be cute, but, you know. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, hit the like button. If you'd like to see more, hit the subscribe button, as well as the bell icon to get notified when I post. Sharing the video would be appreciated as well. As much as I don't want to fucking do this, I'm doing this, guys, next. So, if you want to see that, come back. If you don't, that's also fine. I do not care, because I really do not, like, I didn't want to do Rod's, it's because of the whole step-sibling thing. I don't want to do his, because he's a fucking pervert. But, you know, I guess, just for completionist reasons, I'll fucking do it. So, thank you again, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.
3. I've been feeling so small. Watch the clock ticking off the wall. But tonight